This is the 2022 Volkswagen Polo. Specifically the R-Line model, and it is well known obviously for being a shop cruiser and to go and do errands, but can it also satisfy the weekend thrill? Well, in today's video we're going to find out just that. So we're taking it down some windy back roads, just to see how good it really is. So without further ado, let's get it going. The Volkswagen Polo R-Line is equipped with a 1 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder engine producing about 95 horsepower and about 172 newton meters of torque. So that has about the same 0 to 60 as a snail. So if the death snail's coming after you, then I'm sorry, but this car ain't going to cut it. You might as well count your days. However, what this car does have is a good ground clearance of 160 millimeters. Now, the 160mm ground clearance is very effective. It's very much like other super minis, like the Mini, the Corsa, and all the other Polos in this price range. However, it does have one big advantage over all the other Polos. It has a sports suspension, so a slightly harder ride height, and it also then in that term comes with bigger wheels. The 17-inch Bergamo diamond cut alloys. So unlike the base ones, where they have your regular alloys or your regular steel wheels, now you get diamond cut Bergamo alloys, which are 17-inch, which in my opinion are the best ones you can buy. So they do have 18-inch and 16-inch, but I think the 17-inch, which most people don't think this, but I think it's the best one, gives you a slightly harsher ride. So if you're looking for that sporty feel, this one really does give you that. And that sportier suspension with that ground clearance really does make up for the lack of power in the engine. And it does mean that if you pair it with some really nice sporty tyres, you can bomb this car down some country lanes. Not that I have, obviously, for legal reasons. Now, this car is, yeah, a really good one. It's got that sort of mix in between. It's a classless, as we call it, which is a good thing. A classless car. You could take it to Tesco's, or you could take it to a nice hotel, and no one will bat an eyelid. It is just a well-built, classy car. They're stable at high speeds, they're comfortable, but they can do the sporty things if you want them to. Now this one doesn't, but some Polo R-Lines do have the Sports Select suspension. The Sports Select suspension allows you to select between the normal Polo's suspension and the sports suspension. Now mine just has the regular sports suspension with that slightly harsher ride for that sporty feel, which I really do like personally. It is what I am happy with in my first car. And we're coming up to some of the bends now where this car really does start to shine. It hasn't got that very pokey feel. I mean, it's got some kick, but it's not a kick that you might find in a car with 130 horsepower or 200. It's still a very good car. It can accelerate when you need it to. It does just about enough as you need with that 95 horsepower. The turbo does really help, so you can pull away at roundabouts at turnings without having any worries. It's a very good car. The clutch is quick, the clutch is nice, and all in all this car is a top car. So we're coming up to what I would call the windiest bend on this circuit, well, this road, this back road. Now in the wet, this car still handles very nice because obviously it's a Polo. It's not designed to be like a sports car or a supercar. It is a family hatchback or a super mini that you just take to the shops. But our test today is just to see, can we satisfy the weekend thrill with this car? Taking it down some back roads, experiencing that thrill of driving nice and quick round corners and having a bit of fun. And the answer to that is yes, this car does have it, and it is a lot down to that suspension. Now obviously the snail pace engine, as I like to call it, doesn't have the power you may expect from a hatchback. Some hatchbacks, like the old Corsas, have a lot more horsepower and a slightly bigger engine, but the 1 litre engine has been put in obviously for fuel economy and just to suit everyone from your average granny to your 17-year-old like myself wanting to have a bit of fun in their car. Now, the 3-cylinder engines are also quite reliable, and in my opinion they do sound quite nice as well, but it does give you that nice tone at higher end with the revs, which does make you feel like you're driving something a little bit sportier than you actually are, especially when you go around country lanes. You do feel like you're trying to drive it a lot nicer, and it's a lot faster and a lot, better. Now, the sports suspension is not for everyone. The sports suspension definitely isn't for people like Barbara or, I don't know, Granny Maggie, who just want to take it to the shops or take it to see their grandkids. That's not who this is for. But this is for the people who want to have a car they can take to the shops. Maybe they've got family, or they're a new driver and they want to take it to the shops. It's not too bad for fuel economy and everything, but they also they've had to sell their nice sportier car and they want to take it out on some back roads and take it out on nice drives. And this car does just that. It's got the brakes that make you feel safe in it. It has all the safety features which you need, obviously, to convince your wife that it's the right car for you, or your parents that it's the right car for you. But it also does have that sports suspension that hardens the ride, and you really do feel it. I've driven one without it and one with it, and I do definitely think the sports suspension hardens the ride, but it does make the ride more exciting, per se. Here I am just effortlessly cruising up this road at about 55 miles an hour. Now, it's absolutely perfect. You feel comfortable in it, you feel safe. You don't feel like you're losing control like you do in some cars. It's front wheel drive, which is obviously the basis and the normal now. So you're not going to get that rear end kick out that you might get out of something like a Toyota GT86. But that's not what this car's for. We're just here to see, is it even possible to drive this car around back roads and have fun? Not that it's specifically for back roads. It's got a nice chassis. It weighs in at just over 1,100 kg, so just over a ton. And paired with that nice just under 100 horsepower engine, you do definitely feel that there is enough power there to have some fun, but there's not obviously so much power there that it's going to compete up in a race or a drag race, because that's not what Volkswagen built this for. If you want a hill climb race car, go and get yourself the ID, the old hill climber. They're really expensive hill climber race car, or even look to Volkswagen and go and get a Bugatti, because this isn't a race car. This won't win you drag races. Maybe it will against your nan's old Ford Fiesta, but that's not what it's meant for. And the suspension in this is nice and solid. It doesn't disappoint. It doesn't bottom out per se. It's not that harsh a ride that you think you might get with some proper high quality sports suspension, where you feel the road underneath you, where it's designed to be flung round corners. It's still designed to be driven by anyone, but it definitely does have enough of that sporty feel, which mixed with the sportier design on the R-Line, you definitely do feel like you're driving something sportier than you are. Now, I did touch on this in my big video, that half-an-hour video I uploaded last week, and thanks for the support on that. It's got like 1,600 views, but not many people did get to the point where I discussed the suspension, and for me this is the best point, was going around the back roads in that video and just discussing the sports suspension, so I thought I'd make a separate video. So here's that test with that 95 horsepower engine off of a roundabout, and as you can tell, it takes a little bit of time to settle in, but once it does settle in, it really does decide to kick in and actually give you that power you desire. And it's good for overtakes as well. It really does have that power. There we go. It's starting to ease in. It eases in a bit, and then it just randomly it kicks in fully, and off we go. The car's now moving at speed. Once you get to about 55, 60, the turbo, and it's about 3,000 revs, the turbo kicks in. And it's 3,000 revs. When that turbo kicks in, this car really does start to fly. it doesn't have that instant response like something like an actual proper expensive turbo you'd find in like a Lamborghini or a Porsche 911 Turbo S. But that turbo does definitely work, and you can definitely feel it in the Polo. It's definitely there. So there's a 5-speed manual gearbox in my one, and the gears are nice. They're not sluggish. The actual gear stick's quite short, so you've got the nice shifts. It's not like you're driving a bus like you get something like in a Dacia Duster. And yeah, all in all, it makes it out to be something, yeah, I would say you can drive on backcountry roads and have a lot of fun. I've done it myself. Maybe I haven't got as much experience with country lanes and faster cars as someone older than me, because obviously it's my first few months of driving. But for me, I definitely think you can safely corner in this car, safely drive this car around some country lanes, and just have a lot of fun while not spending too much, and you're still maximising all your safety and everything else that this car has for it. You can still take it out to carry 4 of your mates or your family members and still go out on your own and put a smile on your face every time you drive it, like it does for me. Which will give us a good test to get her back up to 60 from 30. 3, 2, 1. Let's test that turbo. There's that turbo, and it does. We're now up to 50 in a matter of seconds. And once you get to that turbo, you do definitely feel the car kick. It just suddenly kicks into life, and it's like, yep, we're going to do it, we're going to go, and it does go. And then we're going to throw it into some nicer, tighter corners again on a bigger road now with some slightly higher speeds, and we're going to really test just how it feels. So we're going to just tap the brake, because as I said in the last video, the brakes are ridiculously good, so you don't really need to put too much pressure on them. And we're just cruising around this corner at about 45 miles an hour, and the car just deals with it. It doesn't have any issues. You don't have to correct yourself. The car just does it for you, really. It just deals with it, and yeah, it's really, really, really nice. Now, obviously, it's not for everyone. Harsher ride, sporty feel isn't for everyone, but I think for the most part, if you're looking at getting a Polo these days, I would say if you're looking at a Life, but you can get a new Life, but if you can get a used R-Line for a couple grand more, or even, yeah, in this day and age it's cheaper, go and get an R-Line. You'll have a lot more fun, especially if you're someone around my age of like 17 or in your 20s or your 30s, or even later on in life when you need that extra room in your car. Definitely go for an R-Line. Or if you've got a lot of money to splash but you don't have enough for a GTI with that bigger engine, or you don't want the bigger engine, get yourself what they now do is a black edition, which has a few more features on top of the R-Line, but while keeping the R-Line's sporty feel. Hope you all did enjoy today's video. I hope it helps a few of you if you're looking to buy a Polo. And I've had some comments saying people have bought Polos and they've just got them and they're loving them. A few people say they're getting R-Lines and GTIs and they're really loving them. So hopefully if I've helped you make your decision and those people have helped you as well, I hope, yeah, you enjoy it if you do decide to buy one, because they are a big commitment, but they're very, very, very fun. So thank you all so much for watching today's video. Hope you all have enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe. You know the rest. Everyone else told you millions and millions of times, I am sure. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.